Hey guys, how are you doing? Just wanted to get back to you about multiple things. Let's first let me do the introduction, okay? Before we get too excited, we're going to talk a little bit about justice today, and and there may be more on the following video. Right now, let me talk to you about who I am. I'm George Wolf. Okay, I'm running for Arizona governor, and I'm also wanting to let you know that this video is to give you more insight on my knowledge of injustices and things that the actual government is not telling you. Okay. But there are other exciting things too. Okay. By the way, I approve of this video and all other videos. Um, as I've said in the beginning, we'll talk about ghosts and probably all kinds of stuff. Okay. So now, here goes. So anyway, right now, um, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our injustice system. A one of the ones you want to be aware of, and that is where officers have NPD people. When we talk about NPD, it's simply narcissistic personality disorders. When I went to the academy, one of the things I have noticed is that people enjoy playing with the guns. You know, we would sit there and take the test. People would fail the test. Not only would they fail, but let's look at a few other things. A, they had this rush of blood, excitement, enjoyment, and you'd always hear them say when they're taking the test, well, if it happens, I'll be the first one to pull my gun and kill him. But in reality, we look at officers out on the beat in a patrol car or walking the beat or whatever the case may be. Now, please remember, officers, judges have immunity. No matter what the law says, they have this immunity. Now, we have to find a way to get around that. But let's go back to the immunity issue. The immunity issue above the United States Supreme Court. Look at a picture of the front of the court. You're going to see on up above, where it says, okay, no one is above the law. We, the people of the Constitution, now say no one is above the law. But in actuality, we have people who go into office, and it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whatever. They make these laws without stopping to think. If I give a guy with a badge immunity, he goes out and kills somebody. He's immune from prosecution. A judge, if a judge is biased, what happens? Well, same thing. I mean, we have no other choice than to say, you know, the judge is going to rule the way he is. Now, if we get AI issues and autonomous judges that can go into a courtroom and can be, very honest, you can curse at them, you can give them anything you want, but yet they are immune to the information you feed them in the courtroom. So bias can be altered, and you can get a true judge by the AI system. Now, what I want you to do is also think about some other things. Okay, there is something called civil forfeiture. Civil forfeiture, people. Okay, now you're asking, what is civil forfeiture? That is where a police officer can stop you on the street or stop you in your car, and the chance that they can get to search you, people, Did you know they don't have to arrest you as a criminal? In the civil forfeiture, they stop you because they want to search and see if they can't find cash or something of value so that they can take it from you and arrest the object, the cash, the diamonds, the furniture, TV, whatever it is that they can sell, that they can make a little bit of cash out of. Think about it. It's called civil forfeiture. You can go online and look for what is civil forfeiture and the wrongs. Now, when we going into this, let's look at some other things. Okay? When an individual is arrested, okay, you have never did drugs, you have never did anything. But the officer in his palm places a bag of, let's say, cocaine that was supposed to be in the evidence lockup, but he was able to get enough, put it in a bag, and guess what? He's got his setup. He can set you up for carrying cocaine. One thing he can't change is a third party. I didn't say the one that the police department uses. The one that's going to really count is yours. So when you get a public defender, just remember he may be ineffective counsel, as what it's called. Okay. But if you can convince him that you want a Brady motion done, now 90% of cases that are pled will not have a Brady motion in there. And you say, why? Because the attorney is either overloaded and doesn't have time for that, or he doesn't want to go through that to have a hearing. Okay? You need to change that. Okay? You're in control. You tell the attorney, okay, I don't need you. I'm going to go in and ask for another attorney because of the fact that you're failing my Sixth Amendment right to effective counsel. Now, getting back to the cocaine thing. Okay? Now we think about, okay, so here it is in the palm. And then you turn around and then you, as an officer, you're going to palm that off into somebody's pocket. Make sure you pull it out by the hand with your fingers and say, look what I found. Well, guess what? He didn't find that on you. He palmed that on you. The trick that magic people use all the time. You know that little, like when Grandpa pulled a quarter from your ear, and you said, "Oh, I didn't know that was there." Well, anyway, so now here you got the officer has already fingered you. You think you're dead in the water. In actuality, you're not. Because the fact that DNA, forensic evidence, proves that upon a shadow of a doubt that the fingerprint people that is on that packet, your fingerprint wouldn't be there. His would. Why would his be there and yours not? Now you got to think about it. Because if he palmed it on you, you never touched it. So you have the right to have an attorney or your attorney say, I want the Brady motion on the forensic fingerprinting on the evidence. They can't provide that. They don't want to. If they did, it would clear you. Now, let's go to a few other things. Reform, people. Reform. Okay? You've got the Fifth Amendment. Plead it. If you get pulled over and you plead the Fifth, make sure that you have your video on live feed. So that way it's being recorded. Everything that that an officer asks you, it's being recorded, people. That live feed is your evidence. Now, if the officer walks up to the side of the car and says, um, you know, that you're driving too fast or whatever the case may be, or you got a broken taillight or whatever the case may be, say thank you, you informed me. But he says, well, I need your license and your, there you go, the registration and insurance. Now, let's say you had all that. You gave it to him, okay? Now, remember, when you're giving it to them, you're being detained, okay? If he cuffs you, you're in detention. In detention. You don't have to go to the station to be in detention, okay? So, now, here we go again. The officer says to you, hey, I got the badge, you don't. You don't tell me what the law is. You say, excuse me, I've taken my constitutional rights class, and I surely don't need an officer telling me what my constitutional rights are. Now, there are times when, people carry guns, and it's understood that the officer doesn't want to be shot, so obviously he may be precautious. Typically, if I was in a patrol car, especially without a partner, the first thing I would do is ask the individual to come out the passenger door. So the passenger would get out, he would get out, she would get out, whatever it is, on the passenger side to avoid a traffic incident. Now, once you're out on that side, look at their hands. Because, see, the officer now has the right, if you pull a gun and he sees that gun, he's protected behind that dashboard. He ducks, you shoot. When he shoots you, that's on you. But if we're looking at real justice, real frame up, we're going to look at forensic evidence. Okay. Now, do I carry a gun? No way. No way. I personally utilize psychology in the number one field of A, does an officer have NPD? Well, you never know until you see how hostile he gets. Now, he's going to go from hostile, and he's going to go up in hostility. He won't come down. If he stays the same, then you want to watch his moves. So, the question is, do you give somebody permission to search your vehicle? No. Why? Because you have not been told, A, why you were stopped, B, what the detention is, C, probable cause. Now, when they ask you to step out of the car, do you step out of the car? You ask for a probable cause. Why are you stopping me and detaining me? Okay. You've got to know what the truth is. So ask them. Find out from them what their intent is. Okay. And always remember the word intent, because it's a good thing to use. Now, if you ever get arrested, don't fight it. Wait until you get to the court. Because when they take your phone, even if they turn your phone system off, you've already recorded enough to show the court that there was a false detention. There was no case there. If they say, well, you got a broken light. Well, thank you. I need to stop somewhere and take care of it. What the heck? Okay? It's not an offense. I mean, of course, it's in the rule that you have to do a fixing ticket. Sure, give me a fixing ticket, sir. But seriously, I want you to go back now. Let's go back. Now, misconduct. You've got attorney misconduct from two different sides. Okay. Now, first, of course, the prosecutor is taught how to complete a misconduct without you filing a complaint. Pleading and everything else is there, but you, as an individual, have to figure out how you're going to do this. So you pretty much want to say to the attorney you have, A, I want forensic evidence. So I want you to do a motion. A Brady motion. People, I can't say that enough. Brady motion. If you know this officer, then you want to pitch his motion on top of the Brady motion, because the pitches motion is where you are going to find out why a pitches motion is needed. When you know that guy, there's a conflict of interest. So if he's sitting there testifying, now, I want you to know something else too. If you look at the psychology of the picture and you say to yourself, one question, if you get your public defender to even ask a question, if he doesn't want to do the Brady motion or pitches motion or anything else, okay, the in lim, anything, one of the things you want to take into consideration, okay, and that is one word can make his lie snowball on him. So the officer takes a stand. He's questioned by the prosecutor. Prosecutor, what happens? He's talking about how bad you are and everything else. But then you think about it. If you can get your attorney to ask a specific thing. Okay, I give you an example. Okay, let's say you always use the left-hand pocket on your shirt to put everything. You don't have anything, you never have anything on or in any other pocket. Now, if you ask the officer when he says, well, I had the evidence, I took the evidence from his pocket. Okay, so the question is very simple. What pocket? See, here's the thing. If he never took the evidence off you, he's not going to know. When he says, well, somebody else must have. Okay, so where's the report? Verifying that you said that, that you took it off me. It's not going to be. Because of the fact that when he's on the stand, he's already perjuring himself if he doesn't know that's what he did. Because if he wasn't there, he wasn't there. Now, let's look at back to the forensic issue. Okay. Forensic labs, you need to know this. Okay. There was a story not too long ago which came up, and I looked at it even closer because I had to think about this. And I did a little bit more checking into it. And it was amazing because there was a girl in that lab who would just sign off on a police report and says, this forensic information is true. So what happened? She got popular because she's the only one in the lab that was just, signing off and giving it back to the department and the prosecutor. And what happened? What happened? Let's get serious. Because what this girl did is she put a lot of innocent people in jail. because she wanted to please people. She wanted people to see her for who she was. Look, I can put out reports left and right. Look how fast I go. I'm the best in forensic. Wait. Let's check this out. Okay? When a person does forensics, your attorney needs to hire an outside firm. Can you do that with a public defender? Yes, you can. But they're not going to tell you that. Well, we can't do this, or we can't do that. That's all they say. But when it comes down to physical evidence, they can't give you forensic evidence. If they don't have it, how can they prove that you're guilty? Yeah, they may have a witness. That's hearsay. But let's look at reality. Okay, today, reform needs to go back to the beginning as what I said. Okay, and that is, we take the immunity out of policing. We take the immunity out of judging. Oh, by the way, did you know that you can actually sue a judge? I actually found a case, which is online, and you could probably look it up yourself. But in case law, can you sue a judge? Yes. The United States Supreme Court says you can actually sue a judge. But you have to make sure that if you're going to sue a judge, you know, in the reform, we have to first remove the immunity. Now, typically, the judges that I've taken down, okay. Now, I don't want to brag about judges that I've taken down, okay. But I did use the federal system because I got tired of local judges saying, no, you're not going to accuse one of ours. But it took 3 years before my complaint was actually recognized. Okay. Now, the number one thing I want you to know too, and that is, how do you take a judge down? Go to the profile in a local law library. Look up their words. Use their words. Judges, police, anyone. You use their words against them, people. Use their words. Don't put it aside. You see, when it comes to reform, we need to seriously think about the true reforms of law. One, as a governor, do you think I'm going to let people sit in jail when they're really innocent? No. I have to give them a pardon because of the fact that places like the justice system projects and organizations, they do what they can, but they need higher up help. Do they get this? Not if it's going to cost them their position in the area of people discriminating. Well, they're going to let people go and they're innocent. Come on. Are they really innocent? Let's look at some facts. Okay. Forensic evidence at the top of the list, people. Now, when we take the immunity from an officer, and that immunity that we take from the police officer, okay, some are still called peace officers, but we'll get into that another time. So the immunity gets taken away. What occurs? He's going to be more a mind set on watching what he does. See, right now, the NPD people that are police officers, they're excited because they can take that badge, and that badge is like a shield from the people who pay him his salary. Pay him his salary, people. Can you honestly say that you want to pay an officer to be NPD? Can you honestly say that? As a child grows up and he learns, why am I being hassled by a cop? Should he be harassing me? Maybe not. But only you, as an individual, who can help with the reform. Now, here's what we'll do. A, once I become governor and I get enough of people to get me into that office, I want to have specialized teams. Specialized teams would convict officers without an immunity clause to prison just as a regular individual. I won't call them citizens because the Constitution says we the people. Even in the sense of the fact that if I am an officer and my partner is NPD, oh my God, now he has to put up with the fact that he knows about his partner. Okay, so the justice reform needs to meet every single element, from the immunity issue to the prosecutory issue, and what is that? Oh yeah, the issue of forensic people, and that's the number one thing. Okay, because everything is forensic. Plants, papers, people, everything. If it's a dead body, if they don't sweep the area before they walk into that area of where that body is, they will not find the forensics. They say, well, when you have sex with a dead body or with an individual that is put in a complaint, what happens? They say, well, she was raped, he did it, it matches. That's all that counts. But when you ask for a third party to come in, do a forensics, and verify what this forensic person is saying, this stuff all has to be in place. If you want reform, this is going to have to be in place. The follow-up is the enforcement of the detention. The follow-up of detention is very important. So when you reform, you take that out of the picture too, because you got to reanalyze what they were originally taken in for. Well, he was homeless, so he didn't have any money, so we called him a vagrant, so we arrested him. Come on, people. Tax dollars go to those jails. Tax dollars go to the prosecutor, the defendant, the defense, and much more. So what do? Do we sit around and allow that to happen? Well, here's what we do. As governor, I look over at my justice team and I say, hey, I can't get the people from the state to budge on the issue, so let's take it to the people. Well, what do you do then? Well, I'd say to my people, okay, spread the word. We're going to do a petition. You go out and you, as my public source, is going to do that. Get every signature you can that we need. Put it in, and I will call, as governor, a special voting for this and for much more. But let's take one step at a time. So our justice system has to be looked at under a microscope. Justice reform starts with taking the power and the immunity and reinvesting to the people, okay, the truth. We need to bring the power back to the people who pay the individuals for what they do. If you're a judge, that's tax dollars going into that judge's pockets. That's how he lives. It's the same thing when you go to the store, you buy. Okay, they buy low, you buy high. That's how it works. That's how they make their money. You, as a citizen, from the age of 16 or up, whichever state you're in, you can actually vote. Okay. Make this petition count. Put people accountable. Officers who can endanger other officers should be held accountable. When a judge goes rogue, needs to be held accountable. They need to have that little immunity taken from them, so that getting them off the bench, retired or however it happens, we can do that. We should also pass a law utilizing a petition that if there is a complaint against a judge for specific things, then that judge can simply be off the bench. Can't get any simpler than that. Okay, guys? So I want you to know I'm with you. Okay? So just remember, everything that gets done is for you. Okay? Okay. So anyway, for right now, I'm going to say I see you in my next video. And again, let me caution you, Fifth Amendment, and make sure your constitutional rights are there, and especially live feed when you talk to an officer. And never speak to an officer when you say, and you should say, that you want an officer present. I mean, you want an attorney present, so that if something's asked, that attorney can object to it. Okay? Okay. So we'll see you again. Love you guys. Be safe and watch your backs, guys. Watch your backs. Okay. We'll see you for now. Take care.